Welcome to Solopreneur Success Strategies, where we talk about the entrepreneurial mindset and how to get your message out to your customers, how to know what your customer wants, and how to make them your raving fans, as well as the knowledge and skills you need as an entrepreneur to save you time, money, and be more productive in your business. So welcome! Welcome! This is Jane Gardner of Solopreneur Success Strategies, and today it's Jill or Jack of All Trades Thursday, where we talk about the skills and knowledge you need as an entrepreneur in order to be a solopreneur in your business. And for those of you who don't quite understand, what I mean is when you're a solopreneur, whether you like it or not, you have to know a little bit about a lot of things. You need to know about your website and your computer and your HTML and your WordPress and your cash flow and your email and on and on and on. And so we're going to be looking at, we've already looked at HTML, and we are going to look at, right now we're looking at your business numbers and your cash flow. Today, though, we'll be looking at your price points, but then we'll probably look at selling, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of topics to know when you're a solopreneur. And I just wanted to say that I'm Jane Gardner, and I work with my husband for the last 20 years in our home office at a structural engineering firm over in Western Canada. And about 3 years ago, I decided to come out on the internet to see if I could help others get the freedom, but also the stress and challenges of being a solopreneur with a home office, whether it's offline or online. So welcome. This is going to be fairly interesting for you. We're going to be getting some examples today on how to create the value in your price so that there is a perceived value that you can charge higher prices if you wish. So I'm going to look at some examples. So today, let's have a look at the training, which is all about price on Jack or Jill of All Trades. And so we're going to be looking at a variety of things over the next year. But today, we're going to be looking at price. But today, I wanted to mention, first off, one of the offers that I have on the table. That's HTML. We did that for 4 weeks, and you're welcome to go to jgtips.com/YouTube and have a look at the various episodes there on the HTML. I gave you some tips on ways to use HTML on your website to keep control of it, and that's HTML, jgtips.com/HTML, and to have a look at that offer, and we'll probably be starting that one soon. So we're wanting to look at how to add value to your price so that you can charge more money. So in order to, last week we looked at price point and the various ways that you could increase your price point or decide what you're going to charge for your price based on your cost, based on what your competitors are charging, based on what kind of value you could add. So today we're going to look at some examples where they've added value such they can charge higher prices. So you don't have to actually don't have to increase your value by increasing your cost to increase that value. You can increase the value of a product or service by speeding it up. Versus your competitors. This is all comparing your competitor's product or service. You could improve the quality such that it doesn't compete with your competitors. It's actually contrasting to your competitor. You can be perceived as more trustworthy or reliable in your service or product. And you can improve your customer service and response when selling your product or service. You could use some new technology that would help the customer to implement your product or service. Or you could just make the process easier for a customer to come and buy your product or service in terms of using new technology, etc. So these are some of the ways that you could add value to your product so that you could raise the price. So for when you're looking at who your customer is, then you want to look at what is your brand, and that is because so that they feel that your brand expresses the value that they can increase the price. So the way you position your business and your brand directly affects what you are going to be charging. So for example, let's look at the BMW. Let's look at the BMW. So these are ways that they have increased the value, perceived value of the BMW is by the advertising. So you perceive the value of the BMW to be more because you have been trained by the advertising to perceive it as such. Excuse me. So you should also create yours with a specific meaning and value to your market in mind when you're looking at your product or service. What can you show your customer that your value of your product or service is more than the value of product of your competitor? Or you can just promise something special which your competitor can't promise. For example, FedEx promises that it will positively be there overnight when you send your packages with them, which is something that is a bit of can be a tough promise, I'm sure, with some people, but this is what they want you to know. They want you to show that reliability is a unique value that they offer to their customers. Or for example, the 7-Up wants to be known as the Uncola because, of course, there's also many colas. They want to show you that they are an alternative to a cola. And this is the reason they want you to choose it, because it is opposite to what a cola is. Or for example, Miller Lite has a tagline of great taste, less filling. So what they want you to perceive is that they are proud of being less filling than heavier beers. So they are telling you that because of this, they want you to perceive their value as being worth, well, not for them. I don't think they cost more money, but certainly for BMW. Let's go back to BMW. Where are we here? It's the ultimate driving machine. Well, of course, they want to communicate that they are the best, and they want you to know they are the best so that you're willing to pay the price to get the best. So let's go back to our diagram again. So you position your brand so that directly affects your customer's mind. In order to determine this, you need to create a positioning statement. When a customer buys your product, what value are they actually buying from you? Although they're buying the product, the value they're actually getting may be saved time, saved money, saved headache, peace of mind. So there's a process to the perception of the value of your product or service. So for your product, they are looking at who is your customer and what is your brand, so that because of your brand perceived value, then they will, of course, buy from you from the perceived value, which is best expressed by your messaging. So, woof. That's a hard way to say. Basically, you need to know your messaging, which we do on Get Your Message Out Tuesday. But your customer is always looking at your value for your price, and you have to think about how you're going to have messaging that will make the value of your price seem something that is worth paying that price if you decide that you're going to be pricing it with a different value. Whew. So that's a value pricing position. So good positioning of your value price is single-minded. You have to, obviously, each product or service has to have its own message as to its value. It has to be meaningful to the customer so that they understand what you're trying to say. The value messaging that you're doing for the price, it has to be focused on the end result for the customer and how it will benefit them. It has to be unique in order for them to pay attention. It can't be the same as someone else's, just like the Uncola is not a cola. It has to be sustainable. It has to be an easy message that they will understand. It has to be believable, and it has to be true. So it has to be a message that is true about your product or service in order for you to get a perceived value for your price of your product that people are willing to buy from you. So there you go. There's an idea for you for your pricing, whether you should consider using value pricing in terms of your messaging, and knowing that your messaging is very important for when you're doing your pricing, and also what your customer perceived as a perceived value of your price. So just to wrap up then, I have the, as I mentioned before, the offer for HTML hacks to optimize your website at jgtips.com/HTML, where we learn some quick HTML hacks that you can do to quickly be in control of your website yourself instead of your website developer. I have also created another offer called Create an Ideal Customer Experience, where we look at what is a customer experience or journey through your company, whether it's your first connection till when you keep the customer, and then how you can map it, and what are the key elements of an ideal customer experience, and how you can map it out so that you can then, of course, create it within your policies and experiences of your business, and then identify and prevent potential breakdown points within the experience. So, for example, making sure your customer service is good and responsive. And then from the end of that, we would create a new customer experience map. If you haven't created one, it'd certainly be a new one for your business, so that you can use it in order to create the customer experience that will be ideal for your customer to go through your business. So you would go to jgtips.com/experience, and there'll be an offer there on doing that, probably in August, as we're coming up to the end of July. As well, I did find another one. How about profitable pricing? How about defining your customer? See, we always need to define our customer. So you've already done that with the ideal customer profile, profile offer. You can certainly get a head start. Know your competitors, positioning your product or service, and then how to create a pricing strategy and monitor it and lower and raise prices as you go along, and reassess and test your pricing because it's always a ongoing process, your pricing. So for that one, you would go to jgtips.com/pricing to have a look at that offer, and that will probably also be in August since we're near the end of July. It's an early bird offer, as they all are, for those who would like to help come in and create at the same time as we're making the offer, and includes trainings and worksheets and 4 weeks of feedback on questions you might have from me, as well as interaction in webinars, etc. But you can go over to jgtips.com/pricing or / what was the other one? Experience or / HTML to have a look at the offers. Okay, so far on Jack or Jill of All Trades, we've looked at the HTML for your website. We've had a brief look at your business numbers, what the concepts of your business numbers are, like revenue and expenses. We've had a look at price positioning and how to maybe change the price, or if you don't know how to charge as a price, some of the things you can do for to find out what your price is. And next week we'll be looking at financial statements and how to read them. So we'll be defining some of the terms like accounts receivable and accounts payable, and just have a brief look at a demo of financial statement, because these are some of the things that you need to know and be able to read when your accountant or bookkeeper hands them to you, so you know how your business is doing. So if you'd like to subscribe, please go to http://jgtips.com/programs, and I'll have an opt-in there for Solopreneur Strategies, Success Strategies TV, in order to get notifications on what the upcoming shows are. Thank you. Well, thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed and got some value out of our Solopreneur Success Strategies podcast today. And if you'd like to learn more about me, you can go over to jane-gardner.com/SSS, or please leave a review, or just come and check me out. That would be great. Come and say hi at jane-gardner.com/SSS. I also have a TV show you're welcome to listen to as well over there. Thank you.